You know what time it is. You know what time it is.
How firm thy friendship. Oh, how
you know what time it is. I'm brawl with them boys of the fall. You know what time it is. On the ground with a nose for the ball. You know what time it is. Blood, sweat, and them tears for this game. Leaving it all out on the field with no fear for you lames. Yeah, you know what time it is. Come brawl with them boys of the fall. Covered in gray and scarlet, massive, stiff arms to your jaw. We breaking it. We sick of seeing you clowns with the crown. We taking it.
What's up, Buckeye Nation? Welcome to the Buckeye Boys, where we talk college football with real fans. I'm Melo, that's TG, and that's Mecah. How you ladies doing today?
Great.
I'm doing good.
Good.
Glad
It's
to
good
be
to
back
see you
on.
guys. So today we got a pretty good show. We're gonna talk about tight end recruiting, offensive line recruiting, and the impact of high school transfer portal on college recruiting itself. So with that being said, Mika will let you start us off. Where do you wanna begin?
I think we should start off with the offensive line since that's a hot topic right now.
Okay. So, what's your thoughts with the offensive line? Who do you think we need to get? What's your feelings on missing out on Adam Guthrie? Do you think that's something we could recover from? And I want to know your opinion as well, TG. After Mika goes,
Yeah. Okay.
I was honestly surprised that Adam Guthrie committed to Clemson so early because he kind of fit the mold of what I think uh, Tyler Bowen is looking for, especially when it comes to size, because he's like that 6'7", uh, 300-pound guy, and he seems to like that sort of size. So it kind of surprised me that we got um based on his name. And hold on a second, I got to sneeze.
you talking about Adam Guthrie, or are you talking about Maxwell Riley?
Oh, Maxwell Riley. It kind of surprised me that we ended up getting Maxwell Riley and didn't end up getting Adam Guthrie because I think the frame of Adam Guthrie seems to be more what Tyler Bowen is looking for. And judging by the kids that he's offered recently, he seems to like the 6'7", 300-pound plus guys. But not that I'm unhappy with. Why am I Maxwell Riley? I really do like him. I I just was surprised that he was the one we landed. But to be honest, Max seems to be the more polished of the two and the more versatile, so I'm really happy with the pickup.
And TG, what's your thoughts about missing on Adam Guthrie? And
If I had to say, with Adam Guthrie, he never really gave the Buckeyes a chance to develop a relationship with him since because he committed in 3 weeks. I don't get why when the Buckeyes clearly wanted you. Now I could understand if he wanted to get over with early, but dude, the Buckeyes still wanted you. They wanted you to connect with Tyler Bourne. I mean, Maxwell Riley and Sam Greer were both giving Ohio State a chance to develop a connection with them with Tyler Bowen. Why he didn't do it, I will never understand. It's
To be,
kind of weird.
to be honest, I think he felt slighted, especially when schools like Texas and Georgia and then jumped in early on him. I think he didn't understand why Ohio State wasn't showing him the same kind of love when he was basically in the state. I think
I
he, I
I,
think
I sorry to cut you off, Mika, but I think I know why. Because I think the Buckeyes wanted them to show him more, if you remember, because he wasn't fully there, like from a physical standpoint, at least from like being able to be a mauler. Because Ohio State's looking for offensive linemen that are maulers as much as they
yeah,
are excellent pass blockers, and he wasn't showing that yet. So when he started showing the Buckeyes that is when they will offer him, and they did, and he did, and they did. Like Ohio State has a certain type of offensive lineman they want.
I'm
So
not saying I disagree with what Ohio State did. I'm just saying I think from his standpoint, he got a little too into the hype of the other offers and was just like, well, if you're not going to offer me, I can go somewhere else.
Yeah, well, they did offer him,
Yeah, but he wanted to
and
and
I
didn't
early.
get.
think what Mika is trying to say is Adam Guthrie probably committed to Clemson out of spite. And then, it's known down here when Dabo has you on campus, he kind of forces you to either make a decision. And if you don't take his NIL package and the offer, they go in a different direction for the most part. From what I
Exactly.
Tyler Bowen and Ohio State said, hold your coffee. This battle isn't over. Signing day, and we're not going to give up on him. Continue to recruit him. So let's see if they can develop that relationship. I think he's flippable, but will we flip him with as we talk with the other guys that are and talk about the other guys that are in striking distance for us to land? So that's where I want to kind of transition to Mika. Can you name some offensive tackles that we're in on right now? Like, give us a couple
Uh,
names.
my favorite so far that I've looked at is Evan Goodwin because his strongest point his is as a pass blocker,
Mm-hmm.
and that's usually what high school prospects struggle with the most. And I think he's just a great character kid, and he's got college ready eyes. He's 6'7", 325, and he just seems like a great leader. He's also a great wrestler and got great feet and hands. And I know he's planning on visiting campus.
Yes, and just for everybody watching, um, Evan Goodwin was on the Buckeye Boys. He did an interview with Devin. So if you missed it, go back and try to find it. I think it was like 2 or 3 Sundays ago, and he came on. He's a very intelligent, very delightful young man, and it would be awesome to have him in the fold. So let me pose this question to you guys: say we land Evan, right? Say Evan is in the fold for 2026, solid commit. He is not flipping, not taking any more visits. He shuts it down. Who would you prefer to have? Evan Goodwin or Adam Guthrie in this class if it came down to those two? I'll
Honestly,
start with TG first and then we'll go to you, Mecca.
Honestly, Evan Goodwin, I like his size, I like his power, I like everything that this kid shows. He gets, again, you get into the right program, you can develop into an elite player. And that's what I think with Goodwin is if he comes to Ohio State, he'll develop really well.
And
I,
Mika, what are your thoughts?
I agree with TG in terms of just pass protection alone. He's head and shoulders above Adam Guthrie right now.
Uh-huh. And so I agree with that as well. I prefer Evan as well. So just as we're going through this little exercise, I want people and not just us, not just the fans, but ourselves as well, in terms of trying to justify is Adam Guthrie a huge loss if we land these next targets that we're talking about. So who else is another offensive tackle, Mika?
I got Sam Green,
Okay.
and I think he's a 3-year starter at Ohio State if we can get him in the program and develop him. He flashed as a freshman. He's got the size. He's 6'6.5", about 310. He's not sloppy weight. He carries his weight well. Got great feet, great hands, and like I said, he's flashed as a freshman, and he's put together a couple healthy years on the offensive line at Archbishop Hoban High School. So he plays at a great level of competition, and I think he's a must-get type of dude.
Okay. And what about you, TG? What's your thoughts on him?
Honestly, I wouldn't mind getting him. To be honest, I think he's a great player. I think that Sam Greer will be a great addition. I'm not gonna lie. A part of me does also want the other some other guys, but if we got him an Ohio O lineman, I think that's still better because start building your foundation with the Ohio guys. I don't care where they rank. I just start your foundation with them and then build from there.
Well, I don't know if you guys had a chance to check out Sam Greer's basketball highlights. That kid is
Yeah.
just watching that alone. He jumped to my number one prospect on the O line that I want in this class. He is
He's
my favorite O line target that I've seen thus far. Um, the dude's catching balls, getting bounce passes, and off a drop step, dunking two hands. Then he came. Then the very next play, he comes down and the kid goes up for a layup and he throws it out of bounds. Not just blocks it, throws it. Then he comes down and he dribbles down the court and just pulls up for a three, hits it. And then he got mad, and you can see the football player in him come out. And it's this little tiny kid that's probably like 150, 160 pounds driving through the lane. And you just see Adam two-hand pushes him like he's in pass pro. And the kid just goes flying across the screen. So, like, that type of nastiness and athleticism and that motor and engine to play basketball up and down, I want that all day. So he's my number one target. So in comparison for me, I would choose him over Adam Guthrie as well. So you see where I'm going with this. So right now I choose two players already over Adam Guthrie. I don't know how you guys feel about Sam Greer as in comparison with Adam Guthrie, but that's my thoughts right there.
I feel the same.
I agree.
Okay, so do you have any? Who else do you want to talk about?
I got two. I got one guy that's kind of a sleeper, and another guy that I know that we're in on.
Okay.
My sleeper pick, and if any of you have seen me on the message board, you probably know the name I'm gonna say. Landry Breed from Mentor High School here in Ohio. He's a 3-star. He's the number 1,010th player nationally, number 79 player, number 79 tackle, and number 48 player in Ohio. But he is nasty when it comes to blocking, man. He can get to the second level. He drags people down. He started out wanting to be a defensive end, and he brought that nastiness over to the other side. He plays to the echo of the whistle. You gotta see his tape. He's so underrated, and I'm not the only one that thinks so. Mark Porter thinks so too, and I think if he camps, him and his teammate Justin Todd could easily get offers.
So I think I might have missed it. Did you put out his measurements, like his height and weight?
He's a little over 6'5" and 280, 290 right now. The school has him listed as 290. 247's got him listed as 280. I think he's a bit bigger than that now.
So what do you think he projects better as a tackle on the college level or an interior player?
I think right now he's more of a guard. I think he could develop into a tackle. And I like having swing guys because, like, Donnie Jackson came in handy. He could play both. I like having guys that can play both.
Yeah, I mean,
I like it too.
Yeah, I think for depth purposes, I like it, and especially you want to have at least 1 to 2 guys that are just developmental guys that you know they're not going to transfer out if they're not playing right away or their second year, that they're willing to wait their turn and keep improving. So I always I think every room on the team should have at least 1 to 2 developmental pieces. Because if you have guys transferring, if you can't replace them, you can lean back on the kid that you've been developing for 3 to 4 years. Now, in terms of taking him over Adam Guthrie, I don't know if I would. I'd probably lean Adam Guthrie in this case. What about you guys?
I go with Adam, but I don't know because I think Adam's strictly a tackle, and I think Landry could be both. I don't think Adam could be guard.
Yeah.
I know y'all would say you take Adam, but because of what I seen Donnie Jackson do, I'm gonna go with this kid just because I want that. That. I love having versatile offensive linemen like that. That's what Maxwell Riley is actually too. I would love to have that.
Yeah.
And I mean, he plays to the echo of the whistle. He will drag people down. He's nasty.
Yeah, I want that. I want that.
So who's your next guy? Who's your our next target?
Micah Chant Smith. I might be a little biased because the name is close to mine, but I love him. He's visited, he's visited campus tons of times. Great personality, great size. He's 6'6.5" and 325 pounds. He's listed as an interior offensive lineman, but I think he could play both tackle, guard, anything you wanted him to play. He's just nasty. I love him. I love of his teammate TJ Alford. He's would just be a great kid to have in the program, and he just loves Ohio State, and I really hope we land him.
Mm-hmm.
So with Micah Smith, I've been following him since the Southern Swing last year. It wasn't the summer, it was around this time, a little bit later. When Mark Givler and Kevin Noon went on the Southern Swing. They stopped there at his high school. They talked to TJ Alford and then they talked to Micah Smith. So I'm going to go ahead after watching the Southern Swing and seeing how that went, that whole interview process they had with him in his gym in his high school. I'm going to go ahead and put out Buckeye Boys prediction that Micah Smith will be in the 26 class for Ohio State. And I love that kid. I think he's amazing talent. Like you said, we want swing players as well, and he's the ultimate swing. He could go either way. He has quick feet. He's a mauler. He's also good at pass blocking. So I would love to have him in his class. I think he's going to be in the class, and I would prefer him over Adam Guthrie as well.
I would too. And all honesty, right now I'm looking at the recruiting rankings because we are in on a lot of dudes right now. So I am looking at him, and I did see Micah Smith, and I've actually had looked at his tape. I said this kid would be great for Ohio State, and he wants to be a Buckeye, so why not get him?
Exactly. So Mika, who's the next target?
The guy I got next would be my perfect center, Darius Gray. He is just nasty. He loves football, and you can tell he comes off the ball and he wants to fight somebody. He is just great, and he plays basketball, has great feet, great hands, gets great push, gave Jakeem Stewart all he could handle at camp. And
yeah.
all the coaches raved about how physical and how much he loves the game. And he's very smart, too. He's got almost a 4.0 grade point average. Very smart, intelligent kid. I think he'd make an amazing center for us. He's who I want at center.
Absolutely. Love that kid. Every bit. Hey, he's like who I can't. I'm struggling to figure out who he's more like because I can't remember the name of this center, but this particular center Ohio State used to have throughout times is who he reminds me of as some of the most physical, like intelligent type of center. In some ways, he kind of reminds me of our past center, Seth McLaughlin, in a lot of ways, with how physical he is, how smart he is, the type of, and I think he could be a leader on the offensive line too.
Or Jack, if you remember him.
Mm-hmm.
I remember Luke Whippler. I kind of like him better than Luke Whippler coming out of high school. I hope we land Darius P. I hope Tyler Bowen can develop that relationship, establish it, because if we get him in the class, oh man, watch out.
Oh, I believe they will, because Ohio State's going to tell him, this kid they've been in on, Ryan, they will tell even Tyler Bowen that, like, this kid, he nasty. They want that kid. Not only is he nasty, he's smart, he's physical. I mean, we saw what he did to Jakeem Stewart.
Yeah.
Like, that ain't no joke. So that dude, they going to want him in there because they know he can play center and he will be freaking a mauler. He'd be excellent in pass protection, excellent in run blocking. He will just run dudes over.
Yep.
He plays basketball too, so don't let the 6'3" frame fool you. He's extremely athletic and can dunk for his size.
Absolutely. So you're basically saying he's explosive. He's an explosive player. That's what I'm getting from that. And I'm glad you hit on Darius because I was waiting for you to hit on him. Like, he's one of my favorites as well. Honestly.
He's my dream center for this class.
Okay. Is there anybody else you want to talk about on the O-line?
There's Ben Cogden. I love this guy. He committed to Miami. That hurts me, but I don't think Miami's going to be that good this year, so I think we have a chance of getting him. He's
Who's the offensive line?
competition level was not that great.
Mika,
So,
can you repeat the name of the offensive lineman again for TG?
Yeah, what's
Ben
his name?
Cogden.
Grand
He
Cosby.
just
Okay.
committed to Miami.
Oh.
Yeah, Ben Cogden.
Okay. Yeah.
So my opinion on this one, I think he's going to Miami. These are the reasons why. Mario Cristobal is an O-line guy. That's what he does. That's what he's known for. He's pretty elite. He's not elite as a head coach, let's just be honest. But in terms of developing O-linemen, he is very elite. O-linemen like him. He's in Miami. Miami's a private school. Is one of the academically one of the top schools in all of Power 4 football in the country. It has great research funding, this is just like little side notes. And then on top of it, he's going to get an NIL bag, a hefty one. And he's probably going to play as a freshman. And he's in warm weather. So I kind of don't think he's going to flip. I think he's going to stick with them personally. Now, I could be wrong, but that's just, they normally don't lose offensive linemen to flips. Like, we don't lose receivers.
The only reason I think he could flip is because he was really excited when we hired Tyler Bowen. Like, really excited.
True. Bus, I'm not going to lie. When you say, like, I get that Mario used to be a great offensive line coach. I'm not going to lie. When I looked at Miami's offensive line this year, it wasn't great.
Yeah.
Like, it's like James Franklin in a lot of ways, where it's like, this is a position you develop. You're the head coach of it. So how are they this bad? Like,
I didn't think they were that bad.
No, I don't think they're that bad, but it's like they should be better than what they are.
Because I think their offense was pretty good.
Yeah, not only that, but that 5-star kid that they took from us like years ago, you know where he is on that team right now? He's not even on the depth chart. He's that bad. He was
you talking about O-lineman or D-lineman?
O-line. I'm not talking about like Justin Scott and them. I'm talking about an O-lineman that Miami took from us, obviously by offering him a hefty bag. He's not even on the depth chart. He ain't doing nothing. He is that bad, and that's a 5-star. I'm like, really? You take that guy from us, and you can't develop this 5-star? Are you kidding me? Or is he that bad of a bust? I can't.
That's a good question. It's the chicken and egg question, right?
Right. Like, how, like, and it's not, and trust me, it wouldn't be his first time doing this, because there are countless 5-star offensive linemen you took away from us, and those guys are not on the depth chart. That's what's crazy.
Yeah.
It's like, are you good at developing, or are those guys every bit the bust? Even though, again, 5-star offensive linemen have a higher chance of busting out than a lower guy. Like, we see this all the time, but for these 5-star offensive linemen, it depends on where they go. Because for a lot of them, they go to a school like, for instance, I don't think Adam Guthrie is going to have a great career going to Clemson, because, you know, Clemson's history when it comes to developing offensive linemen is like non-existent. Like, Jackson Cantwell only had a contract in the NFL. He didn't play, and he never got another one. Like, Clemson offensive linemen do not get second contracts. They suck that bad.
Is there O-line coach, a new O-line coach? Because I think he came from UGA, and his O-line when he was at UGA, he sent all 5 in one draft.
I have no idea.
I'm pretty sure. I think
if that's the offensive line coach, then that would work. But it's like with Miami, that part always got on my nerves. I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah, I'm pretty
Mario, you're an offensive line coach. How can you not develop these 5-stars? You just took them from us for the most part.
Yeah.
So like, what's going on here?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's new over there.
Yeah, I'm almost certain he came from UGA like last year, maybe the year before, but when he was at UGA, he put the whole starting O-line at UGA into the NFL in one draft, which hasn't really, I don't know if it's ever been done actually.
And
all 5.
Back to Miami, we broke that program in 2002. I don't ever want to hear them talk crap again. They haven't done nothing since 2002. They ain't never gonna be nothing again. They need to shut them down.
Who talking though?
Man, talk that talk, Mika. Talk that talk. We love to hear that.
Here's my question: what Miami fans or who from Miami's talking? Because
A lot of them talking. They be
Really?
talking on the message boards. Yeah.
Really, I would love to roast these mofos myself. Be like, what have y'all done since '02? Ohio State broke y'all. Y'all
Yeah,
are not
they
on this
talk,
level.
man.
Let's be real. Y'all can't even develop at Ohio State's level. Like,
They
if
have
Miami played Ohio State now, Ohio State would blow them out.
Mm-hmm.
You could take a mid-tier Big Ten team, place them in the ACC, and they could do what Miami did.
You
Yeah.
could put Purdue and Northwestern there, the two bottom tier teams.
Exactly.
Like, literally, and they have a great season in the ACC because we've seen it with the ACC from last year. They talk about their winning record against the Big Ten. It's against majority is the lower tier teams. The only good team you beat in the Big Ten was Minnesota because the kicker was ass,
Yeah.
like legit. So that's the only one. But the other two teams you beat were the bottom tier teams, and you had to beat these teams in overtime. And these are your mid tier teams in the ACC. And you have to beat them in overtime.
Rutgers, if Rutgers was in the ACC, they would be perennial ACC winners almost every year.
Pretty much every year, yeah.
I agree with you.
I mean, 2 years ago they smacked Miami in the bowl
Yep.
game, and no one set out for Miami.
That's what's
So,
even,
I
that's what's
mean,
worse. That's
yeah.
worse. Like, it's one thing if everybody set out. If nobody set out and you still got the brakes beat off you by Rutgers,
Yep.
And their fans get so happy when they take a recruit from us, and then they never do anything with them.
no.
And they
But the
just
recruits at some point have to recognize this. They can't just chase that short-term bag.
Right.
You have to look at bigger
Exactly.
picture. You have to be smarter about it. Yes, I know you want to bring the U back, but are you willing to sacrifice your longevity and your bottom line over the lifetime of your career to bring the U back? Are you willing to be that guinea pig? And that's my question, even for kids that want to go to Oregon. Oregon hasn't proven that they could develop anyone. So you want to be the test dummy over there? Okay, you're brave.
You know, that's why, I mean, when we can get into this on the next video is how when you look at Oregon, there's a reason why they can't win a natty. They don't have a culture. They can't develop. And when you look at the kids they took from Ohio, I know we all think this is a big deal. It's not a big deal that they took some kids from Ohio to me because those kids will never develop into anything. They'll, like, when they face off against Ohio State, them defensive backs they got in Trey McNutt, Naheem Alford, and Dorian Brew, like those guys who all had a chance to come here, when they go up against Ohio State receivers, they're finna get whooped. They're gonna get just straight up whooped. Absolutely. They're going to get embarrassed because they can't. You have not faced receivers like this. Had you came here, you would have been developed by the great Tim Walton, who we all know was the best defensive backs coach in the NFL. You turned that down for the money Oregon was giving you, only for you to go up against Zone 6, because let's be real, Oregon receivers will never touch Ohio State's. Not happening. Nope. And you turned that down only for you to get smoked by Ohio State receivers to show that you can't guard no NFL receivers.
And let's be real, nobody's getting a shoe deal.
Right. Oh, you know what knows even more funny too is the Ohio State players, after they won the natty, after all the work they put on the field, they're making more money than the guys at Oregon now because of the money that the NIL deals they got from other businesses in the state of Columbus. So this is what Ohio State would tell you straight up is you come here, you work hard, you'll get more money than what Oregon is offering you as long as you put in the work. That's what they tell these kids. Some of these kids just don't want to do that. That's what really takes me off.
You think they're lazy? You think they're scared of competition? You think they scared of the pressure? You think, because let's be frank, two of the kids that went to Oregon were legacies. Like, both parents came here. Some of them Hall of Fame parents. I think it's all the above.
That's what I was thinking.
It's the pressure. They have to live up to that. They're not going to start right away. And it is what it is. Now, Trey McNutt had a whole different experience, something personal with his family, where his dad and his mom had some domestic issues, and Ohio State didn't reprimand the father, so he felt some type of way. Oh, and, you know, the mom kind of pushed him away from here, and he wanted to do his own thing. Fine. I mean, that's a little bit different. I'll give him a little bit of a pass, but, like, still, that's where you want to go. You want to trust yourself with that development? When you could have went to UGA, where they develop DBs and safeties way better than Oregon.
Right. And you know what's even funnier is I wonder how the mom would feel if her son is getting whooped by, like, all the Ohio State receivers.
No, but he is. That,
no, that's
like,
what I'm saying.
you said is exact facts. You could have been here getting iron sharpened iron with the best wide receivers. You'll be facing them in practice, so the games will be immensely easy, and you will look great on Sundays going into the draft. Now they're gonna compare you to what did you do against Zone 6, and when you get cooked, they're gonna be like, we don't know if you really like that or not, and your draft stock is gonna slip regardless. Now your testing time might help it go back up. But for off the film, they're gonna be like, well, we don't know because he couldn't guard the elite, and that's what he needs to guard in the NFL.
And that's what's the worrying part about it too, is for every for every defensive back, you will get judged against Ohio State receivers because NFL teams take that seriously because these are the best receivers in all of college football. Not only that, but they're among some of the best receivers in the NFL currently. And like these are the receiving core as well as the entire unit of Ohio State is a NFL receiving unit every NFL team wish they had. So they're definitely going to compare you to how you did against this NFL wide receiving unit. They're also going to compare you to how you did against Bama and LSU because you know they have wide receivers too. So if you face those teams, you better at least look good against their receivers because if you don't look, they finna look at you some kind of way. Because if you're not looking good against NFL receivers, you are not going to get drafted high. You're not.
If anybody needs more proof, look at this year's draft. See how many players we get it picked in the top rounds compared to what Oregon does.
Or even Miami.
You cannot build culture around nothing but an NIL bag.
Yeah, that's even the thing too. Like you can even go to Miami because look at their defense. Their defense was trash this year. They took Justin Scott from us, and the D-line of Miami's was soft as a butter cookie. Like, I mean, they were soft as hell. They were getting pushed around by everybody.
So do you guys got any final thoughts as we're about to wrap up this episode? Tune in, people, for the next episode where we're going to talk about tight ends and the impact of high school transfer on college football. We just ran out of time today, so we'll have to do that tomorrow or next week. So you guys, TG, you got any final words?
No, all I got is go Bucks. And hopefully we get some more. And for all y'all kids, don't chase the bag. Just go to the program where you're going to get the bag if you put it on the field, like the NFL.
Yep.
Like, share, comment, subscribe, all that stuff.
Well, all I have to say is thank you for tuning in and watching another episode of Buckeye Recruiting with Mecah TG and myself. Go Bucks OH.
Ayo. Mecah.
Ayo.
Ayo.